Hey there, this is Beth, and this is towards the end of the actual groupings of Frouds Faery Oracle. It's the last one, actually. It's the Challengers. And this is a fun little group of Fae who really like to push you out of your comfort zone. All those things, all those defenses, all those things you think you really need to keep yourself safe, their job is to shove you out of it. And that's what they do. They really just kind of shove you right out of your comfort zone and into a place where you can change. Yeah, they work on challenging your inner traumas, your inner dramas, insecurities, delusions, confusions, all that crap stuff you want to just shove down and not think about. Just shove it down, shove it under the rug, deal with that some other eon. Well, these guys are going to tell you it's time to change. They don't let you shove it down. Because if you shove it down, it's like anger, repressed anger. It's going to pop up in one way or another, whether it's physical, mental, or just freaking out on people randomly for no reason. It's, or all three. You can have all three show up too. It's, not something you want to do. And these guys help you not do that. They're going to push you to be more than you think you can be, because they deal with the aspects of change in life. And they don't let you take the shortcuts. There's no shortcuts with these guys. For the most part, you need to do the work. You need to listen to them and work through what you are. Because, sometimes, we take the shortcut and we think we've dealt with it, and we haven't. It's still there. We've just kind of went around it in some cases. Or maybe you've just shoved it back down without thinking about it. They want you to do the work. And in a lot of times, if you think of this in Jungian way, these guys are the shadow dudes in a lot of way, that are going to work with your inner shadows and help you integrate and also release what you need to release. Yeah, it's like if you've got a spiritual cramp, these are the dudes that are going to uncramp you one way or another. They're going to challenge your notions of who you are, of self, how you show yourself to the world. They don't want your life to be crap. They don't want your life to be shitty. They want it to be good, and that's why they're challenging you. It may not feel so fun or so awesome or so good during the actual challenging, but once you work through it, it's going to feel a lot better. And they tend to keep popping up if there's a theme. If I figure out, I was in Death card here, this card popped up all the time that year. Even before I knew, it's like, there it is, Death. It's probably one of my favorite Death cards. I'm going to hold that angle, you can see it better. That shroud, and I believe it's a pomegranate apple she's holding. But Death, the ultimate challenge, the ultimate rebirth, right there, And pushes, Death card in the tarot tends to push buttons, and this one definitely will push you buttons. And then you also have certain things that you see a lot of in, not necessarily pagan, but just people who work a lot with energy in general, light workers, energy workers, people who do spell casting, anything like that. Anyone who's really connected in or taps in to energy sources. You see the fluff, the fufter, and he's about not being grounded. And you think, oh, that's not so challenging. But in a lot of ways it is, because as often as this card pops up when I read for people who are woo, for better lack of catch-all, woo-woo people, ungrounded people galore. And when your feet aren't on the ground, you're not really connecting, you're not really fully there and present. You're just kind of floating around thinking things feel really good, and you're kind of whatevering it through life. And then Flav comes around and yanks your other foot off the ground, and you're on your bum. Well, what the hell has happened? I just crashed. That's because you're not grounded. And it's also a way that you can lose energy by not being grounded. Sometimes being ungrounded, you start to leak it. And FLAF is a good warning sign to just make sure you're grounding and really grounded. Where is it? I can't find it. I have a tennis ball somewhere, and it's all cat-coated and gross. But one of the best grounding things I have found is you get a tennis ball and you rub your foot over it. It will bring you right on down. One of the easiest ways and fastest ways I have found to ground after doing something. Hippolyte Epona's wild daughter. She's a daughter of the moon. This is not going to pick up very well today. But she deals a lot on the dream level and works through your challenges on that level. So she gives you the clues while you're sleeping, and it's up to you to use them and take them or integrate them somehow, because I'm crap at remembering dreams. Even when I'm consistently dream journaling and not waking up to alarm clock, I don't really remember my dreams very well. It takes a lot of effort for me. Working with her, when she tends to pop up and she's hardcore in my life, yeah, I remember dreams. I remember the dreams that I need to remember. And so, and you know, she's very much a card of working in the shadows of inner wisdom and getting to know yourself and not letting yourself be stuck or lying to yourself, you know. And you have some of the, let's see here, there's Gloomiest. I like Gloomiest. Oh, Gloomiest Doom. Really, he just wants you to have a good day. He doesn't want you to be gloomy or doomy. He's very much a card of pity, of self-pity, of wallowing in it. And you get, I think, him and the Soul Shrinker are really the two that deal kind of in, Gloomiest definitely is self-pity, of dealing with, oh, woe is me, my life is so bad, woe, woe, doom, doom, and not letting yourself fall into the pit of doom over something that may not be all that huge, or maybe it is huge. But the idea with Gloomiest is to watch your pity parties, you know, have a wallow, have a, you know, eat some Doritos or whatever your choice of junk food is, watch some crappy movies, and have a pity party, get over it, and move on, is kind of the lesson of Gloomiest. The Soul Shrinker, I don't have him pulled out, is another aspect that really deals with self and self-doubt and, in a lot of ways, comparisons. The Soul Shrinker, according to Frouds' story, was once a very beautiful creature, and his envy of others, his desires, his covetousness of what others had, because he didn't have it, ate away at his beauty, and he eventually became not so beautiful. And he, you know, it's one of the, yeah, I forget it a lot when I'm having comparisonitis, when I'm comparing myself to other entrepreneurs, and I'm like, oh my God, they're so awesome, and I'm so behind. And then I have to stop and remind myself, I'm not behind, I'm right where I need to be, my path, my business, my journey, not someone else's. And so, you know, sometimes it's hard to celebrate what others have when you're like, ew, I want that. Why don't I have that? How come I can't get that? And that's where Soul Shrinker comes in. And that's the lesson he has to learn. Teach you is not to do that shit. Just don't get there. You know, or work through it, you know, because I mean, you know, you don't want to repress it. You just want to be like, okay, yeah, I see what I'm doing. This sucks and it's stupid. Feel it and move on. Some of the some of the more darker cards are in the Challenger section. Not very shocking. You have Bodacious Bodok. He's he's going to trip your world up. He's a creature that's like, yeah, come here, let me show you how it's done, and then I'll throw you on the ground and trip you up. He's he challenges you through. And I'm having a brain cramp. I get him. Yeah, it's not him. Okay, yeah, it's Luthien the Wild that I get confused with Bodacious Bodoc. They're two different cards, though. Okay, Bodoc is going to help you out. He's going to tamper with your life. The only problem is he's not going to get it quite right, and it's not going to be right. It's just going to be off and wrong. And he's going to help you along until you start helping yourself along. And sometimes with this card, it can also mean that someone else is kind of inserting their will into your life, and you need to disconnect that energy from your life. It's that's, those helpful people are like, oh, can I just help you? And then it doesn't really quite work. Whether it's good-heartedness or actual sabotage. It can cover both. And the Glockener, that's Smooth Harry. He likes to show you all that stuff. You're like, I'm not good enough. I'm not this. I'm not that. He's going to take you on a little ride to try and, make you see kind of the bad side of it. Not the bad side. It's kind of also a card. It's a card of illusion, delusions, of lust, of projecting what you want to see. It's kind of more the illusion aspect as opposed to truthful seeing. And he really just likes to play on that. And he's like, Smooth Harry, think a car salesman. Trying to sell you, a car that's not so good, but it sounds real good. That's Smooth Harry. And with the challengers, obviously challenging you to help you move forward. And the more you fight with them, the more challenging they become. The more you say no, the more they say okay. And Bodoc, tampers a little more in your life, and Smooth Harry comes in and puts some more lust production on to what you want to do. And that's when things get really messy. Because they don't want your life to get messy. They're just trying harder and harder to make you see their point, while you're trying harder and harder to make them see your point. And it doesn't really work out because they're going to win in the long run. It's either change into something you want to change into, or change into something that maybe you don't want to change into in the long run, or that isn't your ideal. Because if you don't direct your change, you will still change. You just don't get the change you want to have. And the challengers are about getting you the change you want to have. And they have a hard job. I feel for the challengers, because they don't necessarily want to be challengers. That's just what their jobs are. I'm sure they'd probably be much more happy hanging out, with fairy godmothers somewhere fun than, challenging your life. But I'm starting to ramble now. That's the main grooves. I have getting started as far as for a reading, like grounding and centering, and then also shutting it down after you're done doing a reading with this coming up. And then we'll kind of randomly start interspersing single cards between other videos, or however it turns out, because I kind of just film. If I have ideas, I intersperse the ideas with the Frouds stuff. And if I don't have ideas, you just get Frouds stuff. So blessed be. Have a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.